Cut throat, I give her one chance. Slaughter out and give her one band. She don't like it, but she deal with it. Robbie's back to back, this tough. Heroes round the corner, that's us. Putting on stuff, bitch, drink. Flip phone back.
Alright, YouTube, so I never did a video in my car before like this while driving. I just wanted to give some free game out here. I just did 2 consultation calls and I just talked to one of my students. I was talking about the main reasons that most beginners wholesalers don't see success. There's a number of reasons, right? And I could be technical about it and I could say, you know, it's because you don't have the right systems and processes, or because you don't have the right sales process, or you don't have the right leads. I could say all that. It doesn't come down to any of that. Like, that is important, like the leads, where you get your leads and like that. That is important, but what really holds the wholesalers back is they don't have the characteristics of a business owner. Every beginner wholesaler's dream, or at least it should be their dream, is to own a business. We don't want to just close one wholesale deal and that's it. Because if you are a beginner wholesaler and you did close at least 1 or 2 deals, then you know that it's not easy. And it takes a lot of calling, it takes a lot of perseverance and things like that. But to really cross that next level into consistent minimum $10,000 a month, all you need are the characteristic traits of a business owner. What do I mean by that? Every business runs on numbers. And so when you're first starting to learn how to run a business, for example, wholesale real estate, the first thing you learn is how to make your numbers, how to get your numbers and achieve your numbers, aka the KPIs. If you go to $1 million a year wholesaler, he'll tell you exactly what his KPIs are, how much they are, and when they're supposed to hit them, and how often they go over them. Hitting KPIs isn't really a skill as much as it is a habit, right? So nobody has to tell me to wake up in the morning and do my Discord meeting with my students, or nobody has to wake me up in the morning to tell me to, you know, close deals or get contracts signed. It's just what I do. And the biggest thing that stops beginner wholesalers, especially my students, from closing their first deal is because they're too worried about the systems and the processes and the hacks and the money, right? The money will come. It's one of those things that you have to learn how to attract. Like a bad bitch. You can't really attract a bad bitch by always chasing her and being in her DMs and, you know, calling her, blowing her up nonstop. She's gonna think you're creepy and you're gonna drive her away from her. It's the same thing with money. You have to do the things that attract money. You have to have the characteristic traits that attract money, and money will come to you. So back to my example about the KPIs. The first thing that I tell you to do when you get inside my mentorship is, 1, go through the course to tell you how to hit the KPIs. And then as soon as you're done with that, show up to the morning meeting, start making cold calls, and make sure that you hit the KPIs that day. That's the first thing that you do. And then the first 30 days is you hitting the KPIs and learning how to get comfortable hitting the KPIs. Before you could run a business, first you have to know how to take the actions to run a business. Before you could run your business off of numbers, you have to know the actions to make sure that those numbers are met. That's just within the first 30 days. If you close a deal within those 30 days, yes, it's very possible. Is it that likely? Probably not, but that's the reality of business. This is why the first phase of entrepreneurship is to get used to doing the income producing activities. You don't have to like them. In fact, you're not gonna like them at all. You're gonna hate them. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna get your teeth kicked in. You're gonna feel unmotivated. You're not gonna feel like waking up most days, right? Everybody goes through that, okay? We wanna get over that within the first 30 days of you going through grind mode. But the next step, right? Once you do that for 30 to 60 days, right? Doesn't matter what your results are. Because I'm not teaching you how to get one deal, or I'm not teaching you how to get lucky. I'm teaching you how to run a business. And the only way that you're gonna learn how to run a business is by you becoming a business owner. And you can't be a business owner without business owner characteristics, okay? A business owner personality. There's different types of business owner personalities, but either way, You need to get used to doing the things that all business owners do. So how do you develop the characteristics of a business owner? After you do the KPIs, the income producing activities, the key performance indicators, once you can consistently do those for 30 to 60 days without making any excuses, right? Mom died, dog died, girlfriend broke up with you, your leg broke, finger cut off, went to jail. Don't give a f. If you could learn to push through for just 30 to 60 days of hitting the KPIs consistently and not making any excuses, the very next step and the key to unlocking at least $10 to $20 to $40,000 a month is after you get used to hitting the KPIs, you have to enjoy hitting the KPIs. That's where everybody gets lost, and that's where everybody quits, because they can't handle a grind for more than 60 days or 90 days. That's why I made a video called Resolve, how to have resolve. When I first started wholesale real estate, I had a resolve within my brain that I am going to make it work or I am going to die. The only difference between me and any other wholesaler that does not have success is that I am stubborn enough to not give up. The secret to instantly start making money after you get used to hitting the KPIs is to learn how to be delusionally positive. You have to learn how to enjoy hitting the KPIs. There's a few different ways to do that. The first way, and the most common way that people do it, is by rewarding yourself every time you hit the KPIs every day, or rewarding yourself every time you import a lead into your CRM, right? Positive reinforcement. And then another way that you could learn to start enjoying the KPIs, which is also the best way to start enjoying the grind, to start enjoying hitting the KPIs, is to literally reframe your own beliefs and reframe your own mindset. And it's really, really hard because you're rewiring neurological pathways that are already set in stone in your brain, that have been set there, for years. But what helped me to do this was every single day that I woke up, and this is when I had nothing, when I was out in Houston, right? Still trying to make my first 100 grand. I remember the day that everything changed for me. And it's the day that I started to only be positive. So every single day that I woke up, the first thing that I did was I wrote positive affirmations. And I will quote you the affirmations that I wrote. I said, quote unquote, I am so happy and grateful today to be alive. I am so happy and grateful today that I am consistently closing six-figure wholesale deals. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm a millionaire, right? So I would say those positive affirmations. I was no longer journaling about how I felt that day. I didn't give a about how I felt. I said what it was. I am grateful. And then you have to be real about yourself. Not only do you have to say those positive affirmations in the present tense, but you really have to be grateful for what you have. I am extremely grateful that I have 2 arms and 2 legs and a working brain, a working mind, a working mouth. I'm not deaf. I'm not blind. I'm in America, and I have a laptop and a phone. And I know most 18-year-olds out there who are making millions and millions of dollars a year just off of a phone and a laptop. And I am very, very grateful for that opportunity. I'm grateful that I have a phone. I have a phone to record on. I have 2 phones, right? I'm grateful that I finally have my dream car that I wanted now. Now, I'm going to be getting a McLaren this year. But the point is, guys, the number one thing that beginner wholesalers struggle with when it comes to getting consistent deals, specifically their first deal, is they have trouble shifting their mindset to start loving the process, enjoying the process, trusting the process, and loving the grind. Loving to work for the sake of work. That's just the character traits that I developed for myself over time while I was in monk mode. This is why monk mode is so important. You only have to go to monk mode for 6 months to a year and your life has changed forever, because now you have these personality traits, you have these characteristic traits that are stuck with you inside of your subconscious mind. Nobody has to tell me to wake up and go get money today. Absolutely not. It's a characteristic trait, and I have proof of concept. So guys, if you're gonna take away anything from this video, I want you to know that when you are getting your first wholesale deal, or when you're learning to get $10,000 a month consistently, right? So consistent wholesale deals. It comes down to first learning the correct KPIs. That's a whole story in and of itself. But if you follow me on YouTube, or if you have my mentorship, you know what to do. You know the exact things that make you money, right? So step one is start doing it, having the discipline to do it. And then the next phase above that, which is when the money comes in, which is when the momentum pays off, is when you learn to enjoy doing it. It's no longer a chore, right? It's always kind of gonna feel like a chore, but you love it, you're excited about it. Sometimes I'm sure you may be looking at some people like Andy Elliott or Eric Klein or some other people or David Goggins, and you're like, how do you do that? How are you so motivated all the time? How are you always on 10? And I'm telling you guys, they're like that because they develop the characteristic traits within themselves. It doesn't take that long to start developing those characteristic traits, AKA habits. Habits that are attached to your identity and your personality. That's what a characteristic trait is, right? I work because it's a habit that is tied to my identity. That's where the money is made, in the identity shift. You're not a wholesaler. You're not a beginner wholesaler. Stop saying that. Stop. I mean, if you come and you pay me to be your coach, I'm going to help you get over that. But for everybody else, guys, stop saying that you're trying to get a wholesale deal. Tell yourself that you are an investor. You are a real estate investor and you close wholesale deals, and have that delusional belief every time you're on the phone with a seller. And I guarantee you that'll help you with your sales too, when you speak with conviction. I had that from the very beginning. I had resolve within myself that I'm either going to make it happen or I'm going to die. And I didn't plan on dying, so I knew it was going to happen. But then over time, it wasn't long after that I learned that I had to truly enjoy the process to see the results that I wanted. Because when it comes to self-improvement, the journey never stops. You're always going to be improving yourself until you die. Okay? If you guys got any value out of this, comment below, let me know. I'm dropping weekly videos about wholesale real estate, self-improvement, and just life in general. If you want to work with me one-on-one, just click the link below. I'll see if you're a good fit. And if you want my free wholesaling course, how I structure my wholesale real estate business from A to Z, from lead generation to dispositions and transaction coordinating, click the link below. It's a document, it's a full course, videos and everything. I give it to y'all for free because I want to see y'all succeed. I want to help 50 people close their first wholesale deal this year, okay? So if you do use that course and you do close a wholesale deal, make sure to reach out to me on Instagram or book a call with me just to let me know, all right? Y'all stay motivated.